The dismissive avoidant man. This can be a very tricky guy to figure out if you're in a relationship with him. At first, he seems calm. He seems well-regulated, masculine, stoic, and composed. And society teaches us that men should be stoic. They shouldn't be emotional. And he fits the bill. But it's a mask. It's a ruse. Below the surface is a very insecure guy that is filled with shame, that has a lot of fear around intimacy, vulnerability, and closeness. Why? Because he was consistently, profoundly emotionally neglected in childhood. He grew up in a household where you don't talk about feelings. But in addition to that, his own feelings were rejected, invalidated, dismissed. There were consequences when he expressed himself. So he learned that being vulnerable wasn't safe, and he learned a very unhealthy coping mechanism. He learned to suppress his emotions, stuff it, bury it down, put on a happy face. Problem is, he personalized that neglect, and he grew up to feel defective and unlovable, like there's something wrong with him. That's why he fears getting too close to anybody, because if he lowers his walls and he lets his partner in, his partner's going to figure out that he's defective and unlovable and will reject him. Oh, and take his independence in the process. Typically, he had a parent or parents that were very smothering and controlling with high demands, but not in a nurturing way. So what he learned was that getting too close to anybody means losing your independence. It means getting controlled. And he fears that getting too close to his partner is going to result in a loss of freedom. He's not going to be able to do his hobbies. He's not going to be able to see his friends. He's going to be trapped. The dismissive avoidant man often uses escapism as a method of avoiding and creating emotional distance. The favorite way of a dismissive avoidant man in many cases is workaholism, burying themselves excessively in their careers, but using it under the guise of, I'm just a provider and I'm career driven. But it's actually a method of creating emotional distance between himself and his partner, because when he's constantly working, there's no time for intimacy. Conflict is another area where the dismissive avoidant man shows up the most. Or rather, doesn't show up. When there's conflict, needs, any disagreement, he will shut down, just completely go quiet and stonewall and withdraw, leaving his partner feeling very confused and invalidated. He will ignore the conflict until it magically goes away, and then he returns as if nothing ever happened, and the conflict never gets resolved. He fears conflict because that means you got to be vulnerable, you might get rejected, it's not safe, it wasn't safe in childhood, so his nervous system just shuts him down when there's any kind of conflict whatsoever. Dismissive avoidant men are often confused as just being masculine and stoic, but they're often labeled as hard to read, hard to figure out. You just don't really know where you stand with this guy. But in reality, it's emotional suppression, it's the fears of getting close, it's the fears of losing independence, it's the fears of rejection that are really running the show. A healthy man that is secure, well emotionally regulated. Emotional regulation is not a bad thing. That means he controls his emotions. But a healthy guy is not afraid to be vulnerable. He's not afraid to get close. He's not afraid to resolve conflict. He's not afraid to admit when he's wrong. And he's not afraid of losing his independence, because he knows his worth. He knows he'll hold boundaries, and he's not afraid to let his partner in. He can be regulated. He can be calm. He can be masculine, but he's not afraid of getting close. The dismissive avoidant man will use that stoicism and that masculinity as a mask of false confidence that really just hides his deeply rooted fears of intimacy that all stem from shame.